Hey, it's the Belly here. I'm going to talk quickly about pack loadout and why it's important. Not specifically what you put in your backpack when you go to a range or to a competition, but how exactly do you uh, get easy access to what's in your backpack. That's probably one of the most important things that we could talk about. So this, what you see for you, I'm not sure if the camera can pick all of it up, but starting in the upper right there, upper right here, right there, and all the way down over to the left with the little red toolbox there. You can see this is generally what goes in my range bag. Now, I'm still trying to make sure I get the camera lined up. So, um, the match that I went to yesterday, I'm sorry, I'm still pretty tired. It was a really early morning and a long drive out there and back. The bag that I took to take all this stuff was this Eberly Stock Gunslinger 2. Or excuse me, not the Gunslinger 2, it's the Gunslinger GS-05, I believe is the model. It did very well. It had plenty of capacity, as you can see. The manufacturer states this has 2,700 cubic inches of capacity. And the neat thing about it is it being a gunslinger, you can undo this clip right here at the bottom, and this little part comes out like so, and then at the back of the backpack, let me pull it out here, you can see that there's a place right there where you can just put your rifle all the way in, and then there's a couple of hooks to secure it around the optic or around the trigger or handguard or something like that. There's a way to do that. And you put it in muzzle down. It has several little compartments, most in the lid there, as well as in here. And it's a top loader, as you can see. Top loader. Sorry, my arm's in the way. And then it's got an outside pocket right here. It's just small enough that you can't fit any of those folders. And then a small general use pocket that's about that deep. So from there to there. Again, 2,700 cubic inches. It's very robust. It is meant for hard use. I was issued this bag on my last deployment to Afghanistan, and it works very well in that role. It has straps to secure the load and cinch it in, like that, one on top, one on bottom. What I particularly like about this backpack is that when you set it sideways, there's a zipper for side opening. So you can actually have access to all of your gear here. The problem that I ran into and that I experienced yesterday was that it's a gray interior, and it's just essentially just a big cavernous. It's just a big giant cavern. And how do you organize things? Because I had it sideways, and I'd pick the bag up, and everything would shift. Put it back down, and it would shift. Put it back up, and down, and then also putting the rifle in and out of essentially 3 feet, a little bit more, of a scabbard. It just became a little bit too much. I said, you know what? I just don't care to use that. For the purpose that it is intended for carrying a secondary long rifle over great distances and being durable, it does very well at that. It does extremely well at that. I'll tell you from first-hand experience, it does. It's remarkable at doing that. But for what I needed to get done, it was not the greatest choice. What I do own, and I should have taken, was this bag. It's called the Beetle 282. Here we go. And it's made by a company called Kata Backpacks, K-A-T-A. Now this company has merged with Manfrotto. They make Manfrotto is primarily tripods, whatever all the shooters know. Manfrotto is a tripod company. So I thought, why not give a shot and see if I could like this. So one of the yeah, I won't even get into how I ended up getting this. But the thing to note about it is that it's very firm. It stands upright by itself. I got a setting on some stuff, but it otherwise stands upright by itself. The bag is stiff. It's got an almost exoskeleton feel to it, which I'll get into why that's a really good thing in a minute. I don't know the capacity of this. I never looked it up, never even really cared to. But there are several, although it's not PALS webbing, there are several little points to where you can, if you have a lightweight bag, you can just D-ring it right there. It's got 4 external pockets in addition to the one in front. And I usually end up using this to hold my car keys and my wallet when I'm walking around walking from station to station at a shooting competition. More lashing points. The real meat and potatoes of this bag, however, is on the inside. Before we get there, this pocket right here is specifically meant so you can put 2 legs of a tripod in there, and you can actually take care of your tripod with you, and then just put a little bungee around these two to get it. I have yet to use that, but it is a really neat little system that I think it's a neat feature I think that they've got built in. So the easiest way to use this is to set it on its front, and then the back zips open like this with these very nice, easy to grab pull tabs, and then the whole pack opens like that. Now, we'll start, I guess, from the part that's closest to the floor, closest to the front of the back, and work our way up. So on the inside, you can see there's this line right here, and that's actually a zipper. So this flap actually zippers, and you get about 2.5 inches of clearance above the zipper. And below it, this is all felt lined, and the bag comes with several of these little pocket dividers. So if I want to divide a pocket, it's very sticky. I just put it in there, and essentially there's my divided pocket. It is that simple. So it's bright yellow, so when you open it up, even if it's a little dim, the bright yellow background really helps create a little bit more ambient light in there, so that you can see what you're grabbing at. It lays flat by itself, so there's really no issues there. I really like this backpack. I think getting into a photographer's backpack that has its very stiff I hate to say the exoskeleton, but the exterior is very stiff, can really help out those that are in the shooting community by helping you stay organized. I don't expect anybody to be as OCD as me. Actually, I would be quite scared if anyone else was actually as OCD as I am. But I can easily fit my entire ranged in loadout. All of this fits inside that backpack, to include shooting crony, little target pasters, just all of this stuff fits in here, my shooting mat. So to prove it, let's put it all in there. I'm going to tilt this back up a little bit so that we can see that I am actually indeed putting everything in there. And I'll actually talk what I'm putting in there as I'm putting it in there. So let's put the bag up here. First thing I'm going to put in there, oh goodness, I don't know where to start. Well, I'll just start with this, I guess. Kestrel, personal weather station. I'm putting this in one of the little pouches on the top inside, and zip it shut. The pouch is also Velcro in and out, so no really issues there. I'll just sit down here. Laser rangefinder. Put that in there. Those are the only 2 items that I put. I only have 2 of those pouches, and that's what I put in there. pouch. Next up is Thunder Beast suppressor, 7-inch Thunder Beast 30 PS. Next item is a little rag. When I use semi-auto guns, I use this. I just plop it over to catch the brass. This is the easy way of doing that. Well, might as well start. Next up, the Tad Gear shooting mat. This rolls up very, very small. I'm putting that off on the side here. Next up, the rear bag. This is made by Red Tack Gear, and it's I bought this from Mile High Shooting Accessories. It's going next to the shooting mat. These are empty, but two 50 count boxes of 7.62 ammo, 7.62 sized ammo, and they stack right on top of each other in the middle slot. Next up, I guess we might as well start with do the magazines here. So my two AICS magazines, a 10 round and a 5 round. I'm putting those in there. Let me reorient the camera. So hopefully you guys can see enough of what I'm up to. Next up, two AR-308 magazines. These one's made by LaRue, one's made by Knights Armament, and then a 10 round Magpul. Next up, let's get the Shooting Crony in there. So Shooting Crony in its little cardboard box fits very nicely, very easily in the pocket on the side up here. What's next? Holy cow, what to put in there? This is a rifle cover. A friend of mine sewed this together at a 1.9 ounce ripstop nylon. This is essentially the same stuff that the Army poncho is made out of. And so that's, you can see that's small, so it'll go anywhere. I'm putting it in the same place, or in the same little pouch as my AICS magazines. Next up is all my range documentation. So in this one I just have some old targets, targetry. In this one I've got NFA documents, my NFA documentation. And in this last one I've just got more targets that I've put together. This has a pocket up here, and that's where I slide all that into. And then I just close it. What I also do in here, before I close that completely, is in case I get a wild hair at my butt to rearrange, I keep all the extra ones of these that came with the bag, all these extra dividers. I keep them in there. You can see that the inside of this is also lined with bright yellow, so you can look in and generally see what's in there. I found that if you close this all the way, then this zipper can get in the way. This zipper pull can get in the way. So I only ever zip it up about 80% of the way there, and it does just fine. Next up is going to be the rifle sling. This is the Tad Gear sling that I use. Tad Gear 2-point adjustable for precision stuff. And that fits very easily in front of the ammunition. Next up is a small cleaning kit, and that fits just generally, I just smash it in there in front of the ammunition. At this point, this is where I usually try and make the determination of whether I should close the flap or not close the flap. I think by now, I think we can get, you know what, I think I can get this tape in there. So this is Gorilla Tape. In case it's rainy or you don't have anything really solid to staple things to, I have these little rolls of 1-inch Gorilla Tape. That'll stick to pretty much anything, everything. So next, I close this flap. Now, the center of this flap, because the flap is holding everything in, I can now take the bag and I can set it upright. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it upright like this so you can see everything fits in there, and it's in there. This flap has two pockets, one here and one here. This is an old iPhone that I have, and this has my ballistic solver on it. I use ballistic AE. and that fits perfectly right there. And then in here is where I put my little 3/4 inch circles. I have red and I have bright orange. I use the bright orange on a cardboard at far distances, at like 150, 200 for zeroing, so I can actually have, it helps with scope resolution, how your scope does with the resolution, as well as they're cheap. They're a cheap, easily replaceable zeroing. So I can go out there and find any piece of paper and all of a sudden have it be a zeroing target. The Sharpie. And I'll get into why I carry a Sharpie with me. Besides general, it's good practice. The next thing I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to put it in there yet, is a roll of 1.8 or 2 inch masking tape. Why would I have this? So what I end up doing with this is, some people spend extra money. They spend $20 or $30 on a fancy set of wet erase markers and the football quarterback arm piece here. What I do is I'll wear a long sleeve, but I'll take this and I'll put it on my sleeve right there. I just put it on my hairy arm. This will be fun later. And then I'll take my Sharpie and I'll write for my first target, 1.9 mils, and then hold 0.2 to 0.4. That way I can bracket 0.2 to 0.4 mils, but I have to hold over or dial 1.9. And then I'll just go down like that. So when I'm shooting, I can just look at it and do that. Now here comes the fun part. And when I'm done, I can either put another piece of tape over it, or I can just rip it off. That wasn't fun. I can just rip it off and throw it away. And that's how I end up using a 2 inch roll of masking tape. I'll put that in there in a second. I usually do this when it's laying down. The next thing I'm going to put in there is a 100 count of ammo. This is where I'll primarily feed my ammunition from. Now the thing about this is you got to start kind of wedging this in there where it'll fit. And it looks like it'll fit up there. So this will be the last thing that I put in there. Next up are tools. Now I use a little bit of Gorilla Glue to keep this thing shut, right? My Borka toolkit to keep it shut. I know that I could very easily get a little canvas pouch and put that in there. Put all this stuff in a canvas pouch. But I like the hard metal, and I just like it. I could also very easily put these steel and aluminum tools in there underneath the flap. But since I got my titanium suppressor in there, suppressor costs more than one of these wrenches, probably about 100 of these wrenches combined. So they get to hang out there. And then the next up is the staple gun and the staples, and then I'll just find a spot in here for there's a spot right there for the tape. Now, this is where things get a little bit sketchy sometimes. Let me get my iPad out of the way. I'll take that, put it down there, I close it, and I'll hold it closed a little bit. Like that. And then the other side. So, to make sure that it stays closed, it has these two plastic quick connects right there. These aren't ITW or anything like that, but and also, if you're really concerned, it has this, and you can kind of D-ring it or do what you need to do to secure it to that. That's that bag in a nutshell. Stands upright, stands on all sides. It's got a pocket for expanding pocket here for a tripod if you want to. And as it sits right now, let me get my luggage scale. On calibrating, there we go. It's holding steady at 25.8 pounds. I don't know if you guys can see that. 25.8 pounds. So it's not that heavy. One of the really neat things I like about this, and let me see if I can get the camera up about it now. I'll just show you this way. The the pack has adjustments to where you can center it on your body. So let me undo this part. This automatic centers from both top. It's secured here, loops through that one, and loops through this one, and is adjustable. And this, with that cut in the middle, it really hugs the iliac crest right there. So when you cinch it down, it really does conform around it, and that centers the weight so nicely on your hips that it's really kind of ingenious. I'm surprised other backpack companies don't do that. Other backpack companies have waist straps, and they have straps that are meant to do that, but I've never seen one that has one that's so aggressively made by that. And this system of pulling on this one and then having it self-adjust, you see that, it's really ingenious. Yeah, this one, I'm never letting this one go. And then you have, of course, a load tightener that'll pull the pack closer to you. And then all the regular assortment of adjustments on the shoulder strap. So that's the backpack I should have taken. And remember I talked about all that lashing points? Yep. There's the big squishy rear bag, the tactical smushy tactical pillow. Since it weighs about a quarter pound, I just lash it on the back there, and rounds complete. This backpack does come with a factory rain cover, so if you're concerned about damaging the exterior of it, it comes with a rain cover, so you can continue to lay it flat like this, and the rain cover will take the brunt of it and not the backpack itself. So this is what it usually looks like when I roll up to a stage. I set my backpack down, I lay it out, I move that over, get my computer, get my ballistic computer, get that turned on. I only end up opening this up halfway, this flap halfway, grab my magazine, set it out there, grab the Kestrel, set it out there, let it start getting its stuff, start loading my magazine for the stage, double check it, set my computer, look at that, verify it with a hard dope chart that I've got from actual previous engagements. Okay, it looks like we're running about the same. Got it. Just tape. Write it. Grab my gun. I'm on the stage. That way a lot of what you need is still with you, and is not going to be too cumbersome. The part about this that I haven't included is where do you put, hey, belly, where am I supposed to put my lickies and chewies? Where am I supposed to put my water? Where am I supposed to put my, all that sort of stuff? This is my pack. I'm not going to begin to tell you how to load yours. So if 100 rounds is enough, maybe you leave this extra 100 at home. For the larger matches, you generally only need about 100 or 150 for the first day. So maybe you can take something else out and put it in there. Maybe you can forego the chrono and put it somewhere else. It absolutely, I was glad that I had my chrono yesterday, because I just turned it on and laid it out and laid my mat out there. When I got done shooting, I secured my weapon first over next to the backpack, which is about 30 feet away. And when I came back, somebody was laying on my mat and using my chrono. And I wasn't really upset. I mean, I'm not upset about it. We all have this. I'm glad to have given somebody else the opportunity to chrono load. what I found out later is that that guy didn't have any data on his load. It was factory ammo, factory match ammo. It was gold medal match, but he didn't know what it was doing out of his gun, and so although he didn't do very well at the competition, it was I felt really glad that at least he was able to get an almost decent muzzle velocity, and then kind of true his curve as we went. So please don't forget about that there's other people there, and if you can help them out, then that helps everybody else out. So yeah, that's it. That's why I choose this backpack. I'd love it if you would comment. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if there's any videos you want me to make. Send me a message. Send me a comment, leave a comment here, and I will. Thanks so much.